very much. We've been very spoilt by the funding network at Workign Chance, and I think it's not just getting the money, it's being able to talk to people, and we know they go out and spread the word. And just to say about Fiona, that when she took us on Workign Chance, I couldn't believe that she'd been so brave as to take us on a charity that deals with women in prison. And every time the phone rang for about a week, I thought it was going to be Fiona phoning up saying, "We've changed our mind, I'm going to take you on." And then Fiona was so brave, she hired 2 of our candidates, both serving offenders, and they worked for you for, nearly a year, I think it was, and they actually worked in the CMS office. And I know when Fiona launched her mayoral year a bit later, and she told everybody in the room, well, actually, you had 2 serving women offenders working amongst you for the past 6 months, and everybody went, oh, what do they look like? And nobody had realised, and it was great. And so I'm always eternally grateful to Fiona for putting her money where her mouth is, or mouth where her money is, and actually hiring 2 of our candidates who have now gone on to really great jobs in the fields they were in before, because they've had this on their CV, so thank you. So Workign Chance is a charity that works with women in prison, and as they come out of prison, finding them employment. So we believe that women coming out of prison have the right to work and to support themselves and their children. When I first started Workign Chance, it's because I met women in Holloway Prison who said to me that the real punishment starts when you come out of prison and no one will give you a job. And it's really crazy as a society to stop women coming out of prison from working, because it condemns them to a life of benefits and boredom, and it increases the chances of their children going into crime themselves. So employment reduces reoffending, and as Fiona said, we are everybody has to touch wood at this point, but we have a 0 reoffending rate in the workplace. In 2012, TFN funded our Women at Work project, and with that we were able to place 64 women into paid jobs in a range of sectors, including charities, SMEs, and Fred actually hired one of our candidates too, and had to fight to keep the person, because he hired one of our candidates and then applied for their insurance, and we were told by the insurance company that they were a moral hazard. A moral hazard. If I ever start a pop group, that's what I'm going to call it. I think it's such a great name, isn't it? But anyway, Fred fought on and actually helped pay towards her insurance and worked very successfully for you for, I don't know, a year and a half or whatever. And she's moved on to other bigger and better jobs. So thank you, Fred, because it took somebody to fight for that. So and then we actually pitched again and got some more funding in 2013 for our Young Offenders program. So we started working with the young women 18 to 25 in HMP Holloway. There is less than 1% of under 18s in England are looked after by social services, but in prison it's 61%. So it's a cycle that goes on, that women get put in prison, their children get put into care, and then they get into crime, and then their children. So it's this cycle. So this is what we're trying to break, is this cycle of crime and poverty. And so we have recently started a prevention program where we work with young women who've been in care, 18 to 24. So they don't have to have a criminal record. They're usually known to the police or in a gang, or they've got something. But we're actually trying to work with the young girls before they get a criminal record. So we work with women on community sentence, in prison, on probation, whatever. We don't judge the crime. And as long as you can work in the UK, as long as you've got the right to work in the UK, we will work with any woman. So we have all sorts of crimes. The main crime we get is violent crime and fraud. Believe it or not, that's the 2 main crimes. So don't believe when people say, oh, women don't commit violent crimes. They do, actually. And women are becoming more like men, if you can put it that way, in society, and in the bad ways as well as the good ways. So Fraud we can break down. People don't mind benefit fraud, housing fraud, student loan fraud. In fact, people quite say good for them. But not corporate fraud. That's the most difficult to place. Manslaughter, funnily enough, we don't find that difficult to place. So, especially if it's through domestic violence, people are very, very open to that. So we don't judge the crime. We just help the woman. We're about the future, where she's going, not where she's been. We will help her get her children back and deal with her debt and finance issues. So I've done my bit. But debt is a real big thing, because if you go into prison and nobody tells your landlord and your boss and your creditors and everything, you come out with your debts 50 times more than when you went in, so you've got even more problems. Anyway, that's what we are, and thank you, TFN. Much appreciated.